Are you ready? Yeah! Cool! Are you ready? Awesome! Yeah! Ouch!
Alright guys, Cobra here and welcome to C23. Now today I'm actually planning to build a few of the internal structures today, along with a senior staff meeting hall. Now how we're going to be doing that is we're going to be laying down the corridors and the main halls and stuff, and let's just get to it and I'll show you. So we're beginning now. As you can actually see, I'm just laying down the floors and stuff, and I'm actually going to be planning out where I'm going to be putting the main corridors to actually allocate a load of the rooms, as you can see what I'm doing here. Because what you want to figure out is, with these builds, you want to start with actually figuring out where you can go in places. So you just build a few buildings at first, and then you lay out a few corridors, and then you think about what you're going to build within the rooms. Now today what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a kind of like a manager's office which you have to access. I'm going to put a few secret areas in there, and maybe actually think about allocating one of the places where you can go into the nether and do a few quests there, because what we want to do is we want to explore everything. Now as you can see now, I'm just lighting up the hallways and getting it all sorted out. So I'm going to be doing some basic designing within this. As you can see, I'm just going through paintings and trying to get a few tables in there, make it look basic, nice, and so you know what you're doing. Because you know what I'm also going to do is I'm going to change the floor and change the general layout. Now what we're doing here is we're actually just looking at the top view of the actual rooms that I'll be doing. As I said, I want to have one storage room where you're going to find all the little kind of like, you know, all the trivial stuff that you do within adventure maps. You find a room where you can get a few items which can probably help you along, you know, some food, some bit more armor, something, you know, really basic, nothing of any significance. Now second room was also a portal room, and I wanted to do a few quests in Nether. Of course, what I'm going to have to do is when I go through the Nether portal, I'm going to have to allocate specific areas in which you can actually travel to, so I'll go into that another time. Now what I'm doing here, as you can see, I'm actually building a room, a pathway underground, because that is going to be another secret area. Now most people actually go around, search around, see what they can do, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to have it only accessed from another room, which you wouldn't be able to see, or you might miss it, you know. So the opportunity is there to get it, but if you miss it, you know, you're lost, you know what I mean. So this one, what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to create a just a piston activate one. As you can see, the blocks are well hidden, and what I've done to this is I've actually allocated specific blocks which look similar, but you know, they're also just like the different version of the same block, so that you can actually identify blocks which can be moved. In this case, what I'm doing is the secret passageway is shown by a mossy stone brick. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to allocate a desk, and I'm actually going to hide a switch underneath one of the seats itself. Now, so it's something you might come across or you might miss, but if you find it, it's going to benefit you, because you're going to have an enchantment table to use all your enchantment points up, and a few gizmos within the chest. So I'm just going to do a basic room here at the moment, and this is going to be one of the security officers' quarters, which is going to be in the game, and you're going to have to access another area to open it to gain access to everything else. Now I've done the basics of that, what I've wanted to do is I'm actually going to create a kind of like a meeting hall for all senior staff, and in this one, I'm actually not going to tell you what's going to be in this, because it's going to be part of the actual storyline within this, and there's going to be a kind of like a big fight in there, not a boss fight, but a big kind of like, oh crap, I'm trapped in sort of fight, and you have to fight all these mobs off. But you only get to go in there a certain time anyway, so you don't really have to worry about it just as of yet. But I thought, because it was next to it, I really wanted to kind of like get this done and put in there. So as you can see, I'm just building up to the second floor, unlike the first ones, and I had a lot of snow to clear up after this. It took me quite a while to do. But anyway, once I got this sorted out, obviously I put it on the roof, and I was just ready to do the internal designs. Now I wanted to make it kind of grand-ish, but more formal in this room. Of course, it's all basic designs first. It's not the end product. I go through it all again, and I make it look a lot better than what it is. I just want a general idea of what this place looks like. So, I tried doing kind of like beam heads, obviously that didn't work, and changed them around really quickly, as you can see. So what I thought I'd do is, I thought I'd do the archways again. It's, you know, it's a basic, they're basic archways, but they do give off a big effect, and they do look really nice. So, you know, they're one of my favourites to use within massive halls and stuff, the archways, because they're easy to connect, they make it look a bit more spooky, and they just, you know, they give the general feel of what the map's all about. It's just a shame I don't actually have upside down stairs at the moment. That would be a great addition to this, but we're going to get that in a future update anyway, so I won't worry too much about it. Now, after I did all the pillars and put all the kind of like stand things, you know, things that connect to the ceiling from the pillars. After I did all that, I decided to go around and start building the tables and all the furniture and everything else. Now, I actually decided to go around and have kind of like a semi-horseshoe sort of table going around into a massive kind of like square. But also I wanted to be a bit more interesting, so I decided to actually get some pistons and go around with them. It took me a little while to do it, quite simply because there's so much water underneath them. Because this is like North Sea, I didn't bother flattening out the land, so I'm just building it straight over the top of it, because it's just one big massive structure, so I didn't worry about that too much. But unfortunately, because there's so much ice underneath it, I had to kind of like get rid of all that and stuff. And so what I thought was, you know, you can't have a place like this without having a few health places. So we've got a kind of like a bar where I've put brewing stands as kind of like pine pillars, and I've also kind of like got the a little food store, because obviously if there's going to be kind of like a big fight in here, you're going to want to have the option of getting food and stuff to regenerate your health, along with what you've already got, because you don't really want to use your reserves. You know, I found that a few times within adventure maps where you haven't had a choice and you've got to survive on literally what you got, and sometimes it's just not enough. So I always put a little bit of extra in there just in case you need it. Alright guys, now we're just going to do a quick recap on what we've done so far. Now, up towards the palace, this is just going to be we're trying to figure out what rooms we should actually put in there to correspond with the quest that we're going to go for. Now, obviously, because you just come into the palace, you're going to want to kind of like get to know your way around. So yeah, we're just going to go right through. Now, obviously, I haven't built the roof over it or anything else because I'm trying to build up what's actually going to be in this place. So, obviously, at first, just a quick recap on what we've done so far. We first dug a trench around it to try and give it a lava effect. So, as soon as you walked through from the other town, you just come through here and you kind of like pushed out by all this lava and stuff and the pillars, and it looks ginormous because it actually is. But what we want to do is we want to work out a mechanism to actually so that you can actually get out straight away, and how we're going to do that is we're actually going to do it with lava. So you're going to have a wall of lava come down from here, and the mechanism is all pre-sorted out, as you can see. It's just there. So I'm not actually going to walk through there because it will set it off and lava will pour down and stuff. So I'm just going to go through the top. So the first thing we worked on, obviously apart from the front-facing part of this, was also the interior. So we did a basic first layout design, as you usually would do, to try and get a kind of like a large feel, so you know how big this place is. And we're also going to have all the kind of like the doors and stuff. But what we want to be able to do is, this is all going to be locked off. There's only a certain way you're going to be able to go at first, so you want to get to know what sort of quests you can do. So most of these are actually going to be locked off, and it's probably going to look a lot different from what it looks like now, because it's just the first design. So yeah, the first place you're going to want to go through is kind of like get your first footsteps. So these doors are going to be the only ones open, and it's going to lead you down all the hallways and stuff, so you get to know where you're going. But again, all this is all just literally first basic design. So what I'm going to do is I'll put a few ideas in. So you've actually got a kind of like an office in there. Ignore the snow. This was all open plan before I did that. But it's I'll just knock this down for now. Yeah, this is all open plan. There's no roof, so snow unfortunately got in. I can get rid of that right there. It actually really annoys me. I can pretty much guess where everything is, but just in case I mess up.
because the whole point of this is so that it gives us a base layout of what we can do. So it gives me a general idea of what I can do for next step. So I thought I'd put in kind of like an office, kind of like huts for someone who is in charge, kind of like the dorm of a kind of like a say security officer for this palace. But you're not going to be able to get in there straight away, so you got it's going to give you a base storyline and say, oh, the keys were left somewhere, and to get in here, you're going to need to go and find these keys, so you can find out what exactly went wrong at what time within this palace. But to get in here, you're going to have to go and find the keys somewhat. But you're going to find certain secret areas in this building. So what I did was, so you probably saw me build this. You saw me build 2 sections, and as you can see in here, it's kind of like a secret room, and it's got as you can see, it's got a chest in there, which has got an enchantment chest, and also boxes over there. But you're gonna have to find out how to get in there. And there's gonna be a few rooms like this. And if you look around very carefully, you'll be able to find a switch. So I'm just gonna go here, and as you can see here, there's a switch, and one of the floor tiles has just opened up, and so you can just literally crawl down into this dark and dismal place and go back up, and you should be in the next room. And there are going to be a few hidden around and stuff like that. This is just an example because it's just first line design. Ignore the snow again. But yeah, so you can chart your items up and everything else. Because I also got those kind of like shop dispensers where you have to pay a certain amount of cash, and obviously you can buy your way for upgrades and stuff like that. Excuse me, I've got a really bad cold, so I kind of like sound a bit weird. So anyway, as you can see, stuff like that is all marked out by kind of like a different stone block. So it's very slight differences. You won't probably notice it. So keep your eye out for stuff. Anyway, as we're going along, you can, I decided to kind of like, this is all going to be locked off as well. We're going to be putting some portals down so you can actually go to different places in the nether to collect different items and then come back and open stuff up. And we got the kind of like storage rooms and stuff where you can pick up small items on your way that will kind of like benefit your health a tiny bit or something like that. But nothing too big and massive. But what I thought I put one of these massive meeting rooms in here, so I went and did that. So we've got a big meeting room, kind of like, it looks like a council room. So you got the obviously you got the guys who sit in the kind of like the monarchy part, and then you're gonna have the guys sitting around it. I've got all the seats and stuff. It's literally just basic design at first, so it gives me a little idea on what I can do, and then I build up to it because I change this so much. I always change it like every 2 seconds, and yeah. That's better. So we've done the first lane, the corridors, and then we're going to be working on the second and the third floor. We could put a massive build up here, another massive room, but I feel like we need something a bit smaller to get us into it. Now I want to get arenas in here, I want to do lots, so we've got a lot to do. We've got a lot of space to fill out, as you can see. It goes all the way back. So I'm just trying to think of what I can do next. So I've just got to read through my storyline and keep at it. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the first part of the some of the smaller rooms and stuff, and then working through some corridors, and so we can get some living spaces. Because one of the key things that we need for you to do is obviously have your own living space, so that you can actually get all your items, save it, and without any worries. So you know you've got a permanent room there for saves, and they're going to be dotted around this palace because obviously this is quite huge, and you want to be able to save all your data or anything else without having to worry about losing any items and transferring it over. But yeah. So next time we're going to be working on the second floors and third floors on this, and I hope you like it, and I'll see you later. Anyway, guys, take care and bye!